Well, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Watering Hole. As Justin just told me a really important piece of information, I think everyone here should know that the last week of October is a good week to go hunting.
News announcement. It's like everybody's like,
Excuse
oh
me,
my
we gotta
gosh,
break in breaking news.
it's a cold or it's this or it's like, no, it's just the right time to go deer hunting.
Okay, now wait a minute here, Justin. Come on now. Let's elaborate on that a little bit. It has been a heck of a week. You're right. There's no doubt the last week of October is always a week that we're excited about compared to earlier in the season. But there's no doubt our team this week has had some action. I mean, how many bucks have we got down just this in the last couple of days?
Three.
I was thinking three. I could have shot a nice one, decided to pass. You saw a good one, but got busted. You said you got busted. Tell the truth.
I wasn't going to shoot it, but I guess.
But you saw a nice buck, and it just goes with the theme of the breaking news. The breaking news.
It's good to hunt
It's good to hunt in the end of October.
Late October, go hunting. Yay.
Well, for those of you who didn't
Everyone's
catch,
glad they tuned in for that little nugget. Like we had no idea.
it's breaking news. That's all he said was breaking news. But
I will say this, Todd, we have worked hard, you and I,
to be sitting in this office
along with our team and other contributors to create content to help people become better bow hunters, right? And one of the things that we really worked hard on was an entire series of videos on how to recover a deer if you don't make the best shot, because it's probably going to happen.
Right.
So now is the time for everybody to stop what you're doing and go look those videos up and watch them.
I agree.
Because I had a friend shoot a deer, make a bad shot, and it was like all that information that's been told over and over and over and over to you just went out the window.
And when we did
it was like our brains just stop working.
And here's what's
when we
cool.
shoot a deer, and we're like, we have to go find it right away.
And when we did those
And now
videos,
they can't find the deer.
And when we did those videos, we even brought in a professional, Tracker John. So make sure you go to their channel. Of course, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. We got to get that in there. Help us out, guys. But we put a lot of energy into those videos, and there's a lot of good information there.
And don't forget the information. It's like people know what to do, but
they still don't.
But they still don't do the right thing.
I know.
And it's frustrating.
I think what happens, Justin, I'm trying to think back when I was younger, right? Like, you're so excited that you want to live the best part of it, right? You want to live like, no, it's going to be right around that tree. It's going to be right over that ridge. It's going to be right there. I'm just going to take a few tiptoes, just a little bit more.
Let me just get up to here.
Yes.
Oh, well, the blood. Okay, let me just go up to there. And it's like, it's hard. I've said for a while, if you can do this, if you have some friend, and most of the time you have a friend or a buddy that you call when you're going on a track, especially when things get difficult.
If not, I'll give Justin's phone number at the bottom of this, and he'll be your friend too.
Let your buddy lead the way and do the majority of the tracking. I've often said the person that shot the animal should not be the person tracking it, because their whatever you want to call it, energy,
your adrenaline.
Yeah, just everything is amped up. Their brain's not still working right. They're going to want to push more than they should to recover the animal. Sometimes it's nice to have somebody there to temper you a little bit, slow you down.
Yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourself. If you can't find blood, slow down, start making those little loops, start looking for blood. Don't just immediately be like, oh my God, I can't find blood. I got to walk up here. I got to go over there. And the next thing you know, it's just a crap show.
Yeah.
So, if you got somebody there, and it's hard. I've been that guy on a blood trail where I've shot the deer and I'm the guy that's got to be like kind of like holding last blood. I'm standing back there and you're just like, you just want to go. But the other people aren't as emotionally attached to this, so they're going to be a little bit more methodical in what they're doing. And
they just go back to doing what they're supposed to be doing.
My example would be Troy Spolum years ago when I shot that deer, one lung hit. We talked about it in one of our Tracker John videos. Dude, it took us all day to find the deer. We jumped in right before dark, ended up coming back the next day. But I was ready to just almost call it quits, and Troy was like, no, dude, let's just keep looking. Let's check up here. And he was always like the guy that was methodically finding the next piece of blood, where I was like frantically searching around, and he was a little bit more methodical to it. And I feel like if he wasn't there that day, I might not have recovered that animal. So for whatever it's worth, get a buddy. in there to just calm you down a little bit.
And I know we're just talking about this right now because this is it, guys. I mean, here it is, right? It's 2024. It's October 28th. You literally have got this next 60 days, like the best time to hunt, November and December, right? It's just a blast. It's what we live for. And things do go wrong, and we say it every single time. Like, if you don't see the deer physically fall over dead, back out. Just back out. Enjoy the moment.
If you see it running away and trails are hanging out, back out.
Just back out.
Don't go after it right away.
Just back out. Get your friends on the phone. Come up with a game plan, and don't start the baloney of, oh boy, the rain's coming. This is going to happen. This is going to just get your facts together, pull it together, be smart, and have a plan. And we just have so many tools nowadays to help us. Like, listen, if you can't get a tracker, you can't get a tracker. We get it. Not everyone can afford to get a tracker. Maybe people don't have access to a tracker, whatever. But you do have HuntStand. You got these great apps. You can be laying trails down so you know where, if you got 3 guys going and you get to the point where you're in a search and grid mode, you've already exhausted a day, whatever, have everyone be laying down tracks, because you could just easily overlay all 3 tracks together and be like, oh man, Justin, none of us went over here. You just be smart. One of my favorite tips too is that toilet paper, man. That little bit of toilet paper is so critical, because you don't have to go back and pick it all up. You get one rain, and it just kind of dissolves and goes away. I love having toilet paper.
We don't get any rain. Some kids TP'd our house for football homecoming like a month and a half ago, and there's still stuff up in the trees because it hasn't rained that we couldn't get down. So yes,
well, it will get washed away when it rains. But yeah, listen, this is it. We love this time of the year. This is it. Enjoy the moment. As Justin says, it's the process. Enjoy the whole process, because that's what makes it fun. That process is what makes it fun. Hanging that new set, jumping in that saddle, just the whole process is what makes it fun. Whether you're successful or you fail, you just keep on getting after it. So
failure's not fun all the time.
No, but generally it leads to learning and going to the next
success more sweet when it does happen.
More satisfying, for sure.
For sure.
Well, we definitely appreciated having PJ on the show last week. If you haven't a chance to get back to last week's show, there was a lot of riveting conversations about some products that if you don't own, you should own. That's me.
If you can find them.
If you can find those products.
Many of them may be only on eBay or Craigslist.
Yeah, or in someone's garage, deep in a cabinet somewhere. But
I wonder what you could get for an acorn cruncher on eBay. I bet if you put one up there, it'd go for a lot of money. It'd be like one of those things where like
I'm going there right now.
Like Nintendo video game systems are going for like crazy amounts of money.
An acorn cruncher.
I bet nobody's thought of it though. So if you have one, if you're like, they had to have made thousands of them.
Dude, if it's not even on eBay, that's a bad sign.
That's it. But what I'm saying is like somebody, like they made a bunch of these things. They're sitting, somebody's got one.
Spelled with a K, right? It's like acorn cruncher with a K.
Was it with a K?
That's what when I did my research, that's what I came up with.
Well, I'm going to try with a K.
I just don't understand.
Now listen, you can buy, Justin, plenty of acorns. So I guess if you wanted to.
You can buy acorns on eBay?
5 pounds of white oak acorns, one of the deer's most favorite
All
treats.
Right, so
$15 or best offer, 5 pounds.
How many? I mean, this seems like a lot.
It looks like a nice sized bag.
I mean, if you just threw those out like around your stand.
That's baiting. Especially in your area where you got nothing but buckthorn and there's no.
No, we have a lot of oaks. Oaks and buckthorn is what I have.
That is still considered baiting. You're bringing something from the outside in.
Cottonwoods. We have cottonwood trees. Some honeysuckle. It's great. It's beautiful.
Justin, how much would you pay for an acorn cruncher? Like, we have a fan watching this that has an acorn cruncher. Are you offering to buy?
If they're a fan, they would just send it to us so we could use it in the show.
The Deer View Mirror. This is it. We're moving on after this last search.
Oh, you're looking for a Deer View mirror on eBay?
Deer View Mirror. Boy, these are not available, Justin.
I feel like with the Deer View mirror, I could make my own. Like if I really wanted to, I could go to AutoZone and buy a rear view mirror.
Yes.
I could go on eBay and get some sort of, extendo mount. Hell, I probably have some for my cameras, and I could just clamp it onto the tree and bring it with me.
All right.
Maybe we could bring it back, Doug.
There's a reason why.
The bowhunting.com Deer View mirror.
We are not doing it.
I bet we could sell a few of them. If we brought it back, somebody would buy it.
Guys,
has to be big,
guys
though.
that hunt from saddles are the Kamala part of hunting.
I know. I saw that comment. Who said that?
We're not going there. We're not even going to bring the guy that. No, we're not going there.
Give him a shout out.
I don't know. Mountain RNN 50.
Manor 50. Anonymous guy on YouTube says if you hunt from a saddle, you're a Kamala lover. Is that what he said?
That's what he said, something like that. But I'm going to disagree with that statement completely. So, all right.
You know, Todd, I grew up in a middle-class working family, and I just want the best for my deer hunting.
We are going to continue. I'm not biting this bait. I'm surprised that Brandon still has a position.
Bidening.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he
Biden,
said,
I didn't.
right?
I can't believe Brandon is still working here. Okay. With that being said, Justin.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. What's your plans? What are your plans? What's your hunting now? I know this is getting to the Justin's our go time. You've always been the prefer to wait kind of guy. Save your time. This is all you.
I'll tell you what, Todd, it's kind of up in there. I'm going to try to hunt this afternoon. If I can, maybe. I'm going to try to hunt this afternoon. Other than that, probably not till end of the week. We got photo shoot tomorrow.
Yep.
We got a little bit of rain moving through. Thursday's Halloween, trick or treat with the kids. I only got so many years left of that before my kids don't want to hang out with me
I
anymore.
want to shoot a deer on Halloween. That's like a personal goal.
Might hunt in the morning of Halloween, but
goal.
I think it might be raining that morning. So it all depends on weather.
We do have more breaking news.
We do?
Troy Spolam shot my buck again this year.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Gosh, darn it, Justin. That is,
Dude.
man, I moved the set. I saw that buck 3 times. Dude, Troy's just got a good spot. He's not even a good hunter. It's a good spot. That's just what I'm saying. I just said it here on the air.
It's probably a combination of both.
14 times I hunted for that deer this year. 14.
Troy went out once.
Once.
Whacked him.
Dude, guys.
It's a nice deer, too.
It's a great buck. You'll have to wait to
Nice,
see that on an
he's
upcoming
wide.
episode.
He's pretty wide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Super good buck.
Good deer. So Troy, yes, shot the deer that you went after, which again, there's a bit of a pattern here. We've got some history there. I remember when it started out in the early days, you were killing the deer they were trying to hunt.
I know.
And now it seems the tables have turned a little bit.
Habitat's changed. They do have better spots. They do. They have more woods.
Yeah, I think it is you do have the spot where it's kind of like, I would say, off the beaten path in terms of like it tends to hold bucks early in this, like in the summer and the early part of the season when the bucks kind of want to be left alone and not be around like all the deer. And then they've got the spot where it's like once the rut starts to come, those bucks
the deer. They
go
got the
over
does.
there. They have does, habitat, food, everything over there. And the bucks are like, yeah, it's about that time for me to start going over where those does are at.
It's true.
And I mean, this is that time of the year. What is today? The 28th? I think today's the 28th, Monday. I'll never forget. I saw a doe get bred on October 28th one year. I filmed it. It's the 28th or 29th, one of the two. But I filmed a doe getting bred.
Oh, yeah.
One year. And I remember I've always kind of said like this last part of October can be really, really good, but it can also be like feast or famine. If there's a hot doe in your area,
I saw 6 bucks.
Every
Sunday
buck's
morning.
on her, right?
Sunday morning,
They're
saw
just
5
all over
bucks.
her, right? And then all of a sudden, if you're the guy a property away, you're like, where the hell did all my bucks go?
Know.
Right? Because they're all concentrated wherever that first doe
Yes.
seems to come into heat. So
I learned that big time when I used to own that swamp because you could just see so much. And I remember going to that one point stand that I had, and you could just overlook that whole deal. And it was like all of a sudden you'd see this doe come out, and then all of a sudden, dude, it'd be like 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 bucks chasing one doe and one big buck just kind of like doing everything you can to keep all the other bucks away. And it would go on till about 9:30. And then finally she would go bed down, he would bed down, and then all the other bucks just realized like, okay, this party's over, I'm not going to have my shot.
Right.
And then they would disperse, kind of making that midday movement potentially better because those bucks got kind of sucked out of maybe some of their core areas, and now they're going to start heading back to where I belong.
yeah, we always talk about like the late rut of like a bonus buck showing up, right? Because that's traditionally what we think. But I've often found that I get random bucks showing up this time of year. And again, I think they're only there for a day. day
yeah.
2 max. Like you get one stray photo of a big buck, and it seems to be that like tail end of October. And I think that's what it is they're like, I got to go find that first hot doe, and then they go back home afterwards. But I've had multiple years where it seems like it's either end of October or end of November. I don't get a lot of like stray bucks that I've never seen before showing up during what we consider the peak of the rut, like the November 1st through the 15th or something like that.
Oh, I'm just gonna go back to this Troy buck one more time.
Oh man,
I really put some hard hunts in on this deer, and I did see him 3 times. I mean, I had him at like 25 yards, but he was over the fence on somebody else's property, and I'm not going to do that. And then I had him at like 50 yards, and he busted me fair and square. The wind was out of the northwest. I was pushing my luck with the stand, and dude, he gave me a look, and he saw me. He busted me.
He ran across the road, and Troy shot him.
Dude, he
so
did.
Maybe
He did.
it's your own fault.
It could be. It could be. Like maybe I want, but the problem is if you don't go after them at all, I know they're leaving. They always leave this area. They're gone.
Sure.
I mean, that's just the way it is. It's proven.
Man,
I thought I had another week. I really did.
I wasn't sure when Troy.
You didn't even text me, you loser.
Dude, I didn't. I was trying to be nice because I wasn't sure if that was the deer you were after, and I was too afraid to ask you because I was like, if it is, I don't want to be like, oh, shit, let's make it worse.
It's fine.
So I was hoping that it wasn't. I kept looking at Troy's photos, and I was like, I think he's here close to home. I don't think he's out west just based on the photos. Then when he said like, oh, my wife and kids and my mother-in-law came out, I was like, he's definitely close to home. And I was like, oh man, I hope that's not Todd's deer. I guess I'll find out in a couple of days.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm a big boy. I got all my gear packed up. I'm heading a different direction. It's fine. This is the best part. Hey, listen, there's other deer to chase. It's all good. If anyone's going to get them, obviously somebody on our team is always the guys that want to get them because it's great content. We'll have that complete.
I was thinking
might as well add all
this.
my footage into it because it will just enhance the video because I mean it's
I was thinking like historically of our team, like just looking back over the years.
Do you really got to go here right now? I don't know where you're going.
Well, I know you don't even know where I'm
I
going.
have a feeling I know where he's going. I'm just like, ugh.
No, I'm not. It has nothing to do with you. I'm just talking. I think Troy may be the guy that has consistently killed big bucks every year. Like a lot of times we think of like a Clinton or a Tyler or a Frank or those guys down in central Illinois, and they've killed tons of good deer. Don't get me wrong, but like consistent producing of good quality mature deer almost on a yearly basis. And I know now that I'm going to say this, Troy's going to go on like a dry spell and not shoot one, but like Troy's the guy that flies a little under the radar, I feel like, in terms of getting like the praise, right, as being like a great deer hunter. And, we talk to a lot of our partners or people we know, and they come up and they, like I said, they ask about a lot of the central Illinois guys.
Yeah.
But Troy's the guy out there who's just like quietly killing all the good deer every freaking year. So congratulations to Troy. I'm excited to see that hunt. Did you see the picture that he sent where his deer was down dead on the ground?
Yeah,
and that other buck was standing in there?
Yes.
That was a good deer too. Young deer, but a good one.
I know. It's okay. It's all good. I'm moving on.
That's all right. Dude, I got, I hunt with Mike and Tommy, and they kill big ones that I'm chasing literally every year. So, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I mean, those guys kill deer I'm after every year. Usually I'm having to help them track, drag, and do trophy photos and then clean the skulls of the deer that I've been chasing. So at least Troy's not asking you to Euro mount his bucks for him.
All right. Well, the good news is this is the time that we live for. I mean, you're going to continue to see more action, I think, as the weeks ahead. And I think one of the best advice that I can give right now is don't get caught up in the weather. I just don't. I know people are like, it's hot out, it's super windy out. You know what? Honestly, this is when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, they have a natural urge to breed, and that's going to supersede anything that's happening outside.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. They're gonna move. They're gonna be looking for does. They're gonna be chasing. They're gonna be fighting. Like, it is what it is. It may be. I think sometimes for us it gets uncomfortable to hunt. Like, we have our preferences of like when we like to hunt.
Yeah.
Like, dude, yesterday morning, what a beautiful morning. 30 degrees, little to no wind. like just frost, like just beautiful bluebirds. Cause like that was just in our minds, it was the picture perfect morning to go deer hunting.
Kind of was.
You know, but you get some of those less than picture perfect days, and there's still good times to go hunting. It's just not as enjoyable for us. Like, it's windy or it's cold or it's hot or it's whatever, you know. But the deer are like, dude, I need to go breed. I have a limited window. I need to make this happen. So they're going to go do it, whether it's, you know, windy or hot or not.
I'm
So go
pumped.
hunt.
I'm pumped. I'm feeling really good right now. I feel like I have a plan. I know what stands I want to hit. How about you?
No, I am not pumped. I don't have any deer that I'm really excited.
Are you
to
okay
go-
over there, Brandon? Are you laughing because Justin is hurting over here, or were you? I'm not sure what you were doing.
Covering up a sneeze.
I don't know. I think you were getting ready to
Brandon
make
was
fun of
sneezing.
Justin. Well, Justin,
Yes, Todd.
good luck to the best man between the two of us. One of us is going to score
Why
here.
does this have to be a competition?
Because it's always a competition. It's always been a competition between us. It's all good. Doesn't matter. One of us is going to get it
I went
first.
4
It's all
sits
right.
and saw
Yeah,
one.
shake and make the
I
best
saw
man
one
win.
deer.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw
Get
one
over
deer
here. Come
in
on.
4 sits.
Come on. Bring it on.
We're not. What are we shaking?
Yeah, we're
on?
shaking
Well,
because he
I
just
don't
said
know.
shake it.
Shake the best. May the best
Yeah.
man kill the buck.
Let whoever's going to get lucky get lucky.
Okay.
I see he's
guess.
getting a little cranky right now. I feel crankiness right
He
now.
needs to
There's
shoot a
no-
deer.
No, I know you, Todd. People don't want to hear this because when I talk to my friends, nobody wants to hear it. But like, I just don't care about shooting a
this
deer.
is. I'm calling bullshit right now.
I mean, you could call it bullshit all
Bullshit.
you want. I just like, I don't know. I was happy that my kid shot a deer.
Dude, totally.
And
100%.
like for me, that was really the only thing I cared about this year.
I
I
get
don't
it.
have any deer out there that I'm like super excited to go chase. That's the downside of these cameras, right? Back before cameras, when everything was unknown, you got up every day thinking a 200 incher is going to walk by you, and you just never knew. There was that unknown. Now you know everything.
Yeah.
Not that it can't happen, but like I know on the majority of my farms. On 2 of my 3 farms, there's little to no deer that I'm interested in shooting, right? So it's like I went hunting yesterday, and I was like, I don't even know why I'm on this farm right now. Like, what am I even doing out here? There's one deer that I would shoot if he walked by, but that's it. You know, there's one. It's like a needle in a haystack, and it's not like he's a deer that I'm like obsessed about. Like I have to go kill this deer, and I'm just gonna stay on him. He's the kind of deer where it's like if he walks by, I'll shoot him, but I really don't care if I don't. You know.
You gotta have hope, Justin. You gotta always have that hope. You gotta
Well,
have that
you
hope
can
that
have
that 200 incher is
I think they
still
say you
just
can
coming around the corner.
hope in one hand and poop in the other. See
Just
which
fill up.
one fills up first.
Again, I'm just saying.
It's not going to stop me from going hunting.
That's right.
I'm just kind of like, nah, this year's kind of just, nah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
how I
not
feel.
for me. I don't care. 52 years old and I'm still jacked. I do agree with you. Sometimes cameras can change perspective. I mean, we had that conversation earlier in the warehouse, just with, somebody that we know that was scouting some public land, and just everywhere he goes, just trail camera. And it's kind of interesting that, you're literally taking pictures of other people in basically not your own private area. It is interesting concept for sure. I can see why there's
Yeah, I'm all in
some-
favor of banning trail cameras on public land. Personally, it's not, it's not your private property to do what you
Right.
please on it. As much as people think that it is. I know that Kansas has done that. They've banned trail cameras on public land, and I have a feeling other states are going to follow suit
On the public
But,
land.
Yeah, I mean the thing that sometimes when it comes to public land, I think hunters, we get an attachment to it and almost want to treat it as if it's our own. Like that this land is public for the sole purpose of the hunters, when we forget that there are other people, right? There's people that just want to go on a hike or walk their dog or go look for birds or, I don't know, find mushrooms or just whatever they want to do on these public lands. It's not just for hunters,
Yeah.
and a lot of those people, just like us, don't want their pictures taken by some dude's camera when they're just walking around trying to look at the chickadees or whatever they happen to be wanting to do,
Chickadees.
So you and I have had this conversation a lot, but like I can't just go to the local park in town and strap a camera onto the tree and like leave it there. Nobody would tolerate that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do we tolerate it?
Justin, listen, I do not want to read in the Huntley newspaper that you're caught putting trail cameras on the swing sets at the
Just
at
here
the
for
park.
the moms, Todd. We're just here for the moms. But I
Yeah,
mean, that's
not a good
the whole
idea.
point. And it does stink
Not
when
good
like
for business.
you've got guys that, spend a ton of time doing the boots on the ground scouting and formulating a plan, and they get out on a day like yesterday where it's this beautiful, pristine, whatever day, and the light comes up and you look down and there's a dude cell camera right underneath your tree stand locked onto a tree. And I know there's just something about it where you're just like, yick.
How about when the buck comes by and you shoot him and you're at home going, oh, no!
That might be worse for that guy.
That might be really
But I
bad.
remember it was that way in Kentucky. We started hunting, we hunted that Kentucky public land for that first year. Matt Miller and I went down in I want to say it was 2019 maybe we went down there in the spring and then hunted that fall. And then Kurt and Dan and I went back last year, so 2023. So
Yeah.
in the first year we went down there in 2019, I think I saw one camera, maybe two, right? We went back in 2023 and good Lord, dude, there were cameras everywhere.
When you were there, were people ballsy enough to actually put a camera next to your camera?
I didn't have cameras out.
I know, but I was just being facetious.
But I mean, I
were
saw
people stacking
cameras-
cameras?
Not on the same tree, but I definitely saw multiple cameras within visual distance. I remember
Wow.
one night I got up in my
Crazy.
stand, or I was saddle hunting, and I looked down and there's literally a cell camera right under me, and I just walked by another one on my way in. That was 100 yards down the fence row. There was two of them within 100 yards. But I mean, around the edge of a bean field on one of those public pieces, there was 4, 5, 6 cameras.
Yeah, that's a lot.
On those fields. And it was just I don't know, for me, I'm walking in and out and just walking past all these other dudes' cameras, and I was like, this is just lame. It was lame. We talked to some guys, from out of state. And dude, this is you listen to, not to get political, but you listen to Trump talk, and he talks about people taking advantage of tax loopholes, business guys. And he's like, well, you'd be stupid not to, right? And this is how I feel with the trail camera thing. It's legal to do. So if you're
Right.
from out of state and you're traveling 2 states away and you want to litter 30 trail cameras around a piece of public ground to try to find a deer, you can absolutely do that, and it benefits you. So again, you'd be kind of foolish not to take advantage of it, but it's lame for everybody else. But if you don't care,
Listen,
then you don't care.
It's legal right now, and if you're trying to increase your odds, why not? I mean, but you're 100% right. It does feel awkward because there's plenty of public spaces right now that you would never think about going and putting.
Right. I mean, especially on those warm days when you're walking in naked to your stands. You know what I'm saying? On those really hot days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do that all the time.
That's when it gets awkward.
Well, they're going to need a hell of a lens on those trail cameras to pick anything up on you.
Well, it's
so
warm.
I don't think
It's
I would
warm,
want- I
Todd.
wouldn't
They're
want-
warm days, not cold days.
Well, then you might be okay. You might have a chance then on those warm days, Justin. All right, guys. Well, listen. I know you're not feeling all jacked, but I know you better than that. Justin, when we started in this over 20 years ago, you helped kind of stoke my fire. Because I do think through bow hunting, you kind of go through these different phases. And I used to talk to you about this, and you didn't listen to me. Maybe you were listening. But when you're in the thick of it, I mean, dude, it's 3 kids, you got baseball, you got 1,000,001 things going on. I've been there before. I know what it's like. You just got oh my God, the pumpkin patch. I got to do this. We got to carve pumpkins, whatever. You got all these things going on.
Carving pumpkins tonight.
And you just got all these things going on, and you're trying to hunt the way we like to hunt because we're methodical about it. We like to, we're not just grabbing our gear and just running to any tree stand, like the old days. I'm not.
I might be.
I'm laboring over
The
this
other
stuff.
morning, I just flipped a coin because I couldn't decide where to go.
Dude, listen.
I just flipped a coin and I saw no deer where I went. So clearly, my coin flipped. I can't even
You need
flip
a new
a coin
coin.
the
You
right
gotta-
way.
Did you use one of the coins we made?
Dude,
do I go
those
to
were
the-
cool coins. I wish we had
That
more
wasn't
of
a
those.
coin. That was a poker chip.
Those were cool poker chips, dude. Do you have any more of those? I don't know where they all went.
Yeah, we
gave
handed
away
them
some-
all out.
Yeah.
Somebody's got them, but maybe they put them on
Comment below if
eBay,
you have one of those
eBay
cool
with their
poker
acorn
chips that we
cruncher.
made years
It wasn't the
ago.
whole
Those things were
concept
cool.
do I go to the big buck stand or the small buck?
That's how Todd pitched it to me. He's like, if you can't decide, you want to go to the big buck stand or the little buck stand, you just flip this thing. And I was like, well, why would I go to the little buck stand ever?
I
don't
think
need
it was
to flip
a doe, dude.
No,
It
that's
wasn't
what you said. No, that was the
maybe I
way
just said
you pitched
wrong.
it.
I pitched it wrong.
I'll
but it was
never
cool.
forget it.
It was cool. We gave out these
Well,
coins, and
I
then-
just went with heads or tails, and I landed on tails, so I went to the cherry
Dude,
tree stand.
I did it, and I didn't get the results I wanted on the third. I'm like, okay, best out of 5.
So if you knew where you wanted to go, why were you even flipping the coin?
I don't know. It was stupid.
I didn't get the results I wanted. That's hilarious.
When you don't get the results you want, keep on flipping until you do.
You know, the other thing that's a pain in the ass about these cell cameras is if you're like me, and a lot of people I know, how many of your cell cameras are near like tree stands or blinds that you hunt? Like a good amount of them.
Some, not a lot. I don't do a lot of that because it's just,
if you want to mess with your mind, dude, that's the way to do it.
100%.
I cannot tell you how many times I have now just this year alone hunted in a spot and seen nothing or seen one thing, and the very next evening there's a shooter buck.
Dude,
it's literally right there.
It's enough to drive
like
you.
It's happened a multitude of times to me now, and I was like, I would rather just not even know that this is happening. Ignorance is bliss.
That will make
because
you
it will
sick.
drive you insane.
Yes, I agree.
I'm trying to be better about the idea of chasing behind the deer, i.e. like I know a lot of guys are like, I have to wait for everything to be perfect and I have to wait for a daylight picture of this deer and then I'm going to move in. And I feel like by then you're too late. I want to be there when he shows up, not after he showed up and then hope that he shows up again because we know that like the chances of that happening are slim. So I've been trying to do a better job of getting there ahead of time. Seems like I'm getting there one day early in most cases.
Well, luckily you don't have Troy hunting near you, but you got Mike Willen hunting near you. He's pretty good too.
Yeah, he already killed one of our 4-year-olds. So, yeah.
I always told you I wanted to like put our hit listers up here and just cross them off as the season goes. Like vehicle kill, Mike Willen, Troy's Bullet. And it's like they just keep getting crossed out as the season goes. Oh,
my other neighbor shot a deer as of yet unknown and didn't find it. We talked about that.
Oh,
so I'll just have to see which one doesn't show up on trail camera anymore.
I'm gonna listen. I don't want to put you under the microscope with this here, but I'm just gonna say this because I think it needs to be said. Let's just talk about this. Definitely give me your comments on this, guys. Do the right thing. Like listen, because eventually karma will catch up to you. That's my feelings. Like guys, come on, man. With podcast technology, hunt stand, property lines, listen, you know where the lines are. You know where the fences are. You do the right thing. If not, karma will catch up to you. I mean, in this particular case, and I've had issues with this with someone else, so it is what it is, and maybe they hear this and whatever, and they don't like me even more, whatever. But, man, you don't cross the fence until you got permission. Like, you make a phone call. Make a phone call. Because I got to tell you, there are a few people on my list where if the phone call comes in, the answer is just no because of their behaviors and their actions in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's burning bridges, right? You burn a bridge with somebody, and then all of a sudden you need their help. Like,
yeah,
it ain't happening, and that's a bummer when it comes to deer hunting. So, yeah, I mean, I totally get it. People get put into awkward situations sometimes, but yeah, I mean, it sucks. When your deer crosses, and we live in a state where you can't go. No. I think in some states
even
you can.
Even if you get a DNR,
in some states you can go over and look for a wounded animal. In Illinois, you have to have permission from the landowner.
Have to have permission.
Again, if you've burned that bridge, and all of a sudden you find yourself in that situation where that blood trail goes over that fence, like, shoot, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a crappy situation to be in. I think from a multitude of reasons, too. And like what you and I were talking about, the thing that sucks, I'm just kind of the guy caught in the middle of this, like whatever, thing.
I didn't mean that. You don't have to do this.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to drag you.
But I mean, for anybody, why this sucks for a multitude of reasons. Number one, you can't recover your animal. But now, two, you have an animal potentially gone to waste, which totally sucks. And if it was a buck, here in Illinois, it's a $2 state. Right. Which I kind of disagree with. I wish we would go to a $1 state, personally speaking, or maybe earn your second buck or second buck late season only. I don't know, whatever. Just the idea, if we want to have better, bigger, more mature deer, which I think we would all agree we probably have fewer of than we've ever had in terms of age structure of our deer. And I attribute a lot of that to the
Let's save that for the next
But regardless.
That will be on the next
But I mean,
if
you don't get permission to go recover your animal, that's potentially your first buck that you killed.
Yes.
Right? But
And basically what you're saying is they're
dead
going to
and
go
gone.
back. Their
They're
tags
just going
go
to keep
free.
hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still got 2 tags, so now they could potentially go kill 2 bucks with a third that was left to waste because a landowner wouldn't let you go recover it or whatever. So now you've potentially killed 3 bucks.
But it's hard to let somebody who is a cheat and who has done things improperly in the past to reward them and let them go do it after they've done it before. It's hard.
I know.
Dude,
it just sucks, though. But I mean, it's also like, I mean, it's a difficult decision and it's a tough spot to be in, I think, for both the hunter and the landowner. So make better shots, maybe? I don't know. I know it's so easy to say, right? So many of these things are easy to say. It sounds easy. Like, hey, just make a better shot. But yeah, easier said than done sometimes.
Well, Justin, I'm going to end this with saying I hope I don't regret letting that 1 buck go that I had an opportunity with the other day.
Why would you regret it?
It was a nice buck. He was a great buck.
I was kind of waiting for you to shoot it, to be honest with you. When you sent the video, I was like, okay, when's the arrow coming?
I know.
But I could tell he was a younger deer.
But you
just
could tell
watching the video,
you should
too.
know better because at that point I had my cell phone. So if I'm filming from my cell phone, just little tips. If I'm filming from my cell phone, that means I already filmed everything else and already did everything else.
I know.
Because
I still was like, that's a pretty good deer.
I know. It's listen. I feel really good about it because I am trying to.
Okay, so let's talk about this though.
If he comes by next week, am I going to shoot him?
No. So the deer that Troy killed, right?
Oh, go on.
Well, we knew going into the season that you were going to try to kill that deer. And we knew Troy was going to shoot it. We also knew he was a big 3-year-old, right? Mm-hmm. The deer you passed, also a big 3-year-old. So what's the difference that dictates when you're going to shoot it or not shoot it?
Do you know the answer to this right now before I answer it?
I think I do, but I mean, because I think it's probably the same as mine.
You're right. Because, I mean, somebody could say, oh, geez, that's a double standard. He's a loser. He's willing to go shoot a 3.5 here, but why would he not shoot that 3-year-old that he had at point blank here? And the answer is the one that I let go is on my own farm. I control the pressure. I've controlled the habitat. I can control the things that I can control. That deer has lived on me for 2 years. My hope, especially since I want bigger deer, that 3-year-old has a chance to make it to a 4.5-year-old deer. I have 2 other deer that are much older than that deer on that farm that I am chasing that are truly my real targets. That was the one deer, honestly, that I was hoping not to see. Like I wanted to see him,
right? That's what we talked about before.
But I didn't. I
want
to
see him at a distance. I don't want him right underneath.
I want to be like, I want my vortex up. I want to be like, yeah, baby, that's him. Cool, I got him. Yeah, I finally saw you. Whatever. But oh my gosh, like dude, he came out. I got the greatest. Dude, I literally had like 4 cameras running. Like I was in camera psycho mode that day. I mean, I like had them all on, and I was just like, there's a little part of my brain. Like I was like, okay, Todd, you saw the one you want to shoot 3 times. Troy usually doesn't get him till November. You're gonna let this one go because this was your goal. This was your plan. You're gonna go home. You just hung that new set. Sunday looks awesome, and you're gonna kill that buck. Until I was in my stand on Sunday, and then Troy texts me and tells me that he got him. So that immediately failed. But Justin, to answer your question 100%, dude, I really want that deer to make it. I really do. I really do.
Right. I think, for me, it's all about like what is the likelihood of the deer making it based on the situation, the farm size, the pressure, the other hunters, all the other things. And what is the history kind of that piece of property? Like I have certain pieces of property that I hunt where like, you never know, you're never sure that when you pass a deer, it's going to make it, right? There's always that element. Anything could happen. Car could hit it, EHD, CWD, neighbor, predators, whatever, right? But in certain places, there's a higher likelihood, I would say, that deer's going to make it through than in other places, you know? And in the case of the deer with you and Troy, like there is a ton of pressure in every direction from you. There are hunters everywhere. Everybody's got pictures of the deer. Everybody's seen the deer. Everybody's trying to shoot the deer. And it's like, the deer's dying. I'm sorry, but that deer its chances of making it through the season were awfully
and I'll just add to that, Justin. I think that there is a difference between land ownership and people leasing land or having permission pieces, as
Sure.
they call it. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you own a piece and you've put your heart and soul into it, like I have on my new piece, like there's an investment there. Like I've made an investment, and I'm hoping that investment's going to pay dividends. And so far, the property has paid some really nice dividends over the last couple of years. And I'm hoping, and yeah, there's going to be some benefits to the people that are around me, but most of the people around me are also landowners.
Sure.
And also care about some of the quality that they get, or at least I hope they do. Maybe not all of them do. But the point is, I'm hoping from this perspective that deer is going to make it. So that's why I did it.
Fair enough. I have a bunch of big 3-year-olds on one of my farms. I'd like to say I'm going to pass all of them. If I hunt there, and I do want to use my decoy a lot because I have a goal to shoot a deer over.
Did you already hunt over your decoy? I think I saw that.
No, I tried to, and I forgot.
Didn't you put a video
forgot the head. No, that wasn't me.
Dude, you should have put it up without the head. That would have been like the greatest
video. It was just
video.
the legs and the torso. I forgot the head.
Dude, it'd been awesome.
I got all the way out to my lease and
dude, it would totally work.
It wouldn't work. There was no neck or head.
I guarantee it would still work. Dude, they don't care. I'm telling you. I guarantee if you tried it, it would work. You just put their head in a tree, dude. Like if it wasn't there, just like buried in like it's like doing a scrape or something.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. So anyways.
Who thinks he should have tried that? I would have tried
If one of those big 3-year-olds comes posturing into the decoy and all the cameras are like, I may have to shoot. I may have to shoot
that's
it.
A goal of yours, dude. You've made it clear that you want to shoot a deer over a decoy.
So yeah, that would be really the only scenario for me in which I would probably do that. So with that being said, I got to jump on another meeting. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment.
Yes.
Tell Todd he did the right thing, passing that deer on his farm. Make him feel better. He will be rewarded with a
I'm
going
to be rewarded, dude. I have got a plan, and I'm executing it. I'm telling you right now, look out.
Look out, dear. Todd's coming for you.
I'm coming for you.
Look out.
All right, I'm out of here. Bye, guys.
See you, Justin.